Hello, I'm Jan, and there were a couple of people who were asking for my schedule during nursing school, and honestly, I didn't really know how to answer that because I don't have like a list of, all my schedule and the hours and the days throughout school, but I realized that I can go to my my calendar app and pull out, any information from there. So I can't guarantee, I'm actually going through them right now as I'm talking. I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to mention everything, but here we go. So I started in summer, June of 2021, right? And I started with RN 169 with Dr. Ashby, which I believe is like intro class to fundamentals of nursing. If I'm not, am I? Am I? I might be wrong. I don't want to give you guys like a wrong information. So let me just make sure that that's what it is. Yeah, so I started with RN 169 in June 21st, the Monday. And yeah, it's intro to it's so difficult because I don't have access to Canvas anymore because I graduated. So I have the syllabus here pulled out. Yeah, so RN 169 was the first class in the program, and the class time in 2021 for me it was Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8 a.m. to 12:05 p.m. And for me, it was mostly through Zoom because of the pandemic. I don't know how it is now. I'm pretty sure you guys go to class in person. So that was the first class. And after that, was fundamentals of nursing. So, the intro to fundamentals was during summer, right? So now this is fall of 2021, the actual first semester. Um, I had lectures on Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 11 something. I'm sorry, I don't remember what time it ended. I can't find um, anything about that in the emails. And I have simulation, which was 3 hours. So for my simulation, my instructor was pretty busy with his work. So he was very flexible. He would like ask us which days are you guys available, and then we'll just meet on those days. Yeah, so it was always different. Like I see here, one day was Tuesday from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. Another day was on Wednesday, same hours. Another day was Monday, like we switched whichever day we didn't have class, right? And then last but not least, clinical was on Saturday, believe it or not. We had our clinicals on Saturday. So, yeah, it was from 6 a.m. to well, the first 8 weeks was we didn't go to the hospital, right? We would just practice skills with our instructor. So it would be just in the skills lab at our school, LATTC. So we would meet at 6 a.m. and we would continue until 12 p.m. And then we would go home and we would be required to do some ATI modules for another 6 hours. So that was the first 8 weeks. And then after that, for the second 8 weeks, for clinicals, we actually went to uh, the facility. We went to California Hospital, med search floor, and yeah, we had our clinical on Saturdays from 6 a.m. to around 6 p.m.-ish, or a little earlier. I'm sorry, we had for the second 8 weeks, I had my clinicals not on Saturday, we had it on Friday. Thank God, we had it on Friday. Um, yeah, simulation was the same. Theory, I believe, was the same too, on Thursday. And then, yeah, that was fall first semester of my nursing school and LATTC. And then for the second semester for me, which was spring of 2022, right? Yeah, spring of 2022. Again, I cannot find any information in my email, but it's okay because I'm gonna look at my calendar. So my calendar says I had so this was when I had psych rotation, right? We had to go one Saturday for like an orientation, and then clinical was on Thursday. I see here. And then clinical actually changed depending on the availability of the facility spots. But yeah, so the confusing part is your cohort has 40 people, right? They accept 40 people every semester, and they divide that 40 people cohort into four different groups. So each group has 10 people. So these are your simulation group, these are your clinical group, they're the same. So these different groups go to clinical on different days, and they sometimes they have I think all of them have different professor, clinical instructor. So even if I give you like my schedule, it's gonna be different because all of us, all four groups had different schedule for clinicals, right? So yeah, but I wish I can give you the lecture time at least, right? Let me check. So for psych lecture, a mental health lecture, it was on Wednesdays, and it was from like early morning, like I think it was 8 a.m. or it might be 7:30, or I think it was 8 until like 11-ish, 11:30-ish. Um, and then clinical would be, yeah, I cannot find anything about clinicals. Um, yeah, can't. And then simulation, I don't have anything either. I don't know the schedule, but it's 3 hours simulation. And then moving on to fall of 2022, which is a third semester, right? So for third semester, let me see if I can find anything. Okay, I found something. For third semester, simulation was on Thursdays for me from 3 to 6 p.m. Oh, I remember just Professor, she was always busy too. So she would come like from 3 to 6. That was our hours. Clinicals was on Friday. Lecture was 8. Lecture was on Tuesdays from 8 to 12:30. And I believe this was med search. Yeah, it was med search. Third semester med search with Professor Wilson. And then my simulation was with Professor Barcroft, and clinicals was with Professor Wilson as well. So that was the schedule. So Tuesday lecture 8 to 12:30, and then simulation Thursday simulation 3 to 6, clinicals Friday from 6 a.m. to like 5:30 p.m. ish. And then moving on to the last semester, right? Last semester, great, I have it. So this was advanced med search with we had Professor Barcroft. So if you look at the week schedule, I have Tuesday, which was my clinical, and it was from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. ish. And the lecture was the day after, which is Wednesday. Lecture was from 9 a.m. to 12:10 p.m. And then this was a crazy semester because we had med search, advanced med search plus peds for the first 8 weeks. So I had clinical for peds on Tuesday, 6 to 3:30, 3:50-ish, and then lecture for advanced med search on Wednesday, 9 to 12:10. And then Pete's lecture the day after Thursday from 8 to 12:50. And then the day after was the med search clinical for 6 from 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So I had all 4 days occupied for clinical lecture. And good thing about this semester was, yeah, we were busy because we had PEDS, which is a lot of memorization, plus advanced med search. But then good thing was we didn't have simulation. So all first 3 semesters, we had simulation 3 hours every week. This semester, they took that out, finally. So that's how it was for the first 8 weeks, because they divide each semester into 8 weeks. So the first 8 weeks is like different from the second 8 weeks, right? So the second 8 weeks, we had leadership, and we had, this is your last semester, last 8 weeks. I had leadership lecture with Dr. Morph, the director, Professor Moorfield, from 8 to 11:10 a.m. on Thursdays. And then now I'm wondering. Oh, and for leadership clinical, we didn't have a clinical for leadership from what I remember. Yeah, yeah, I think that was it. Because this is like towards the last part of the program. So we didn't really have, like, we have ATI tests here and there. I believe there were like modules that were done here and there. So you had to do those. This is where we had like guests come in to lecture, leadership lecture, and they would talk about like getting a job. Like different hospitals will come in and talk to us. And also we had like a ATI live review on 25th of May, right before we graduated, for our NCLEX. And also, oh, we had it on 23rd, 24th, 25th. So 3 days. That last week we had like a review for NCLEX from ATI. A person came in and explained to us. It was pretty helpful. And May 31st, we had the pinning ceremony. Everyone had to be there. It was just us, the nursing students, and the cafeteria. It was pretty cute, pretty neat. Oh, okay. So because there's no clinical, I remember why. There's no clinical for leadership because you have to do your preceptorship during the last 8 weeks. But in my case, they couldn't find a preceptorship site or like preceptor for me. So I had to figure out, I had to reach out to nurses that I knew from clinicals, previous clinicals, and ask them if they could be my preceptor. So if you could do that, oh my gosh, this is a huge tip for you guys. Like I believe they're gonna have a hard time finding preceptors for you at the end of the program. So throughout your, program, if you get along with the nurse really well, and she or he's pretty cool, like just ask him or her, like, hey, do you mind? Like, are you interested? Like, do you mind if I ask you to be my preceptor? I have to complete 100 and how many? It's in my LinkedIn, how many hours I did, but you have to complete 135 hours, and it's a 12-hour shift. Because this one's gonna be like literally 12-hour shift because you're there with the preceptor, the nurse at the unit, and it's just two of you guys. Your instructor doesn't come in every week with you, and it depends, like you can go in 2 times or 3 times a week. I usually did 2. So then my colleagues, because it was too much for us to go in 3 times. So yeah, the last 8 weeks, you have to do preceptorship. You can't get your, what is it? You cannot get your diploma, your degree until you finish that. Your grade is going to be incomplete. So for me, because there was like a delay, I graduated and then I had to start my preceptorship. So I didn't get my diploma in the mail until like way after compared to other people who finished right before me. Yeah, so basically that's the schedule. I'm sorry this video was so long because I had to look through everything in my calendar, but I hope this helped. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.